I mean, if you are really suffering, give me a shout.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm buffering.
Hello and welcome to this edition of ContentED. This is our weekly roundup digest of pieces of content that we believe can engage, inform, inspire, just stuff that's good for your soul. And although we are quite a soulful bunch here at Janno Media, we can't do it all by ourselves. You know, there's so much content out there. So we often turn to our networks, our clients, people in our orbit, and get them to give us their recommendations of things they enjoy. And this is our 100th edition of this, which is why we've turned to a video format of it. It's usually a digital newsletter, but we're going to give this a video shot. So we've got a very special guest today for our 100th episode. This is Anjy Olosunde. Hello, Anj.
Hi, everyone.
Thank you for joining us and bringing us your
Thank you for having
soulful.
me.
So, without further ado, I think we should just get to it. So this is 5 bits of content that you would recommend to the universe as things worth giving their time to. So we've got a film, a TV show, a podcast. I think I've got a good idea what the podcast recommendation is going to be, but we'll get to that in a minute. And we've got a Instagram or social media account.
Yeah.
And also what was the 5th one?
YouTube channel.
Yeah, and a YouTube channel. Well done. Okay, so let's go to it. Right, Anj, let's start us off with your all-time recommendable TV show.
Right, guys, I can't pick one.
Okay.
But I'm going to say my top 3, and then maybe I'll pick the one I watched the most. So they're not new, by the way, but Big Bang Theory,
Classic.
How I Met Your Mother, and Friends.
Classics.
And those 3 are like my comfort shows. Like, I don't think anyone understands. I think everyone has like a show that they go to and they watch all the time, just like as a comfort thing when you're eating. Mm-hmm. Mine is literally these 3 on repeat all the time.
Okay.
But if I had to pick one, I would say How I Met Your Mother. Just because every time I watch it, I act like I don't know who the mother is, and it's just an amazing storyline, and I love it. But yeah, that's my recommendation. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's basically about I don't know who hasn't seen it, but if you haven't seen it,
give us a brief.
It's basically about Ted Mosby. He's the main character. He's an architect living in New York with 5 of his friends, I believe, four of his friends. And it's basically his journey, dating, trying to find the love of his life, because he's like a hopeless romantic and he's been gagging to get married, but nothing's working out for him. So the whole storyline is just basically him telling these kids how he met the mother. And it took us how many seasons to finally meet the mother, and then it wasn't, okay, let me not spoil it, but yeah, it's a good show. Go watch it.
Okay. And the only thing I know about, because I've not watched it, the only thing I know about is that it's narrated by him. Like, there's these narration sections, this voiceover, essentially.
Yeah. It's like him telling his kids the story. That's the narration, yeah.
Okay, cool. Excellent. Okay, so that would be, if you were exiled to a desert island, it would be that over the other 2.
Oh, yeah.
Made it more complicated. The stakes are high.
But yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Great. Right, moving on. What's your number 1 film recommendation for the universe, please?
I don't know why I'm so indecisive, because I picked 2 for this as well, but they're 2 very different extremes. So one of them is like a rom-com, and it's called Someone Great. This movie has a special place in my heart. Oh, it's not really like a romantic, it is romantic, but it's more to do with a breakup. So she was with this guy for about 9 years, like kind of like a college sweetheart, and then they grew up together, and then you could just kind of see the relationship unfolding, and then it led to this like breakup where she had to move and start her own life. And yeah, but the movie, what I actually like about the movie is it's less focused on like the him and her aspect. It's more focused on how like female friendships can help you through a time like that.
Oh, nice.
So as soon as they broke up, like the day they broke up, it was so funny because she posted like, I think she was posting some memes on her story, and then her friends kind of watched it and said, right, from this, we know that they've broken up. So they've gone to her house, they took the day off work, and they basically spent the whole day with her. And it was a good movie. It was nice. Because it reminds me of me and my friends. And yeah.
Nice.
The other recommendation before I forget is Split. Mm-hmm. Split is basically about this man that has, I don't know if this is the correct term, split personality disorder. Yeah. And I love this movie just because of the actor. Like, I think he's so talented.
So with you. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's so talented to act as, like, I don't know how many different characters, like 8. I think it started off as like 4 main voices, but the way you can differentiate between each one, like, just shows how good of an actor he is. It's amazing. Mad. It's amazing. But yeah, if you haven't watched it, go watch it.
So it's James McAvoy. I happen to know James McAvoy, and I was absolutely blown away as well when I watched that film.
It was a good movie. Have you watched the sequel?
No, didn't even know there was one.
You should.
Okay. What, does he like split even further into like 40 different movies?
I think it's like, from what I can remember, because I watched it in the cinema a while ago, he's at a place where there's other people that also have different like mental. Okay. So watch it.
Okay, I'm there. Writing that down. So cheeky 3 little recommendations in there, actually.
Okay. After this, only one.
Okay, right. I think we'll leave the podcast for the last recommendation because there's a little bit of a surprise there. Okay, so your social media account, what is that, please?
So I chose an Instagram page called Your Positive News, and I've been following them for like 2-3 years now, maybe, and I've literally watched them like grow from like 100 followers to now how many thousands of followers. And they basically started off because a lot of social media channels and blogs, you know, post negative things, or just whenever there's drama or chaos, that's what they post. But this page is dedicated to only posting good news and positive news. And so I just really like it. It's just like a dose of, what is it, dopamine?
Yeah.
Like the video I saw yesterday, they posted a woman surprising her son. So they've been living in like a council flat for basically all his life, like a cramped 1-bedroom council flat. So she was in the process of getting a house for them. So she obviously didn't tell him. And I think he's in like primary school or year 7 something. So he's really young. So she basically surprised him by saying they're going to visit a friend, and he's walked in the house and he's just looking around and it's empty, obviously. And then he literally starts breaking down crying when she was like, oh, this is our house. And he was like, but there's so much space. I literally love it. It was so cute. So yeah.
I mean, that is good, wholesome content, that.
Wholesome, yes. That's the
cannot
word.
beat it. Okay, lovely. Right, so we've got 2 left. We're going to do your YouTube channel and then we're going to do your podcast. So, Ange, tell us, what YouTube channel would you recommend to the universe?
Well, I would say my own YouTube channel, but we're going to leave that for the podcast one. Yeah, 2 and 2. Anyways, but if it wasn't, my own, I would say Beta Squad. That's the one YouTube channel that I can say I go to for entertainment. Like I go to for Netflix, for example. So Beta Squad is Nico, Chunks, I'm trying to count how many, AJ, Sharky. I think there's 6 of them. And they basically just do loads of different videos, like loads of funny videos. They can get guest what do you call it?
Like curators on? I don't know. What do they do? What do they produce?
So let me just, an example of, they do loads of different things, but an example of one video is they all lock themselves in a box and they'll basically see how long they can last in that box. Okay. Because they're all just as funny and just as annoying, like it's just funny. And then they bring in different challenges every level, basically. And they did one recently that's the last one to fall asleep. So they all like were in a room. I think they were there for like 48 hours, something like that. And there's loads of different like challenges that you have to face. So one of them is like they can take one of you to another room, lights off, comfy bed, and you still have to not fall asleep for an hour. But yeah, it's just like funny videos like that, and they do like guess the real actress in a lineup, and it will be like 6 people in front of them. One of them is the real actress, the rest of them are lying, and then you have to pick,
Okay, I got it.
But yeah,
cool.
Beta Squad, good channel.
Beta Squad. Okay, got it.
Beta Squad, yeah.
Right. Okay, and then finally, your podcast recommendation, please, Ange.
Well, there's this podcast. I think it's called 2 and 2. I'm joking. This is my podcast, guys. Brand new. Thanks to Janno Media as well. So a bit of backstory about 2 and 2. I did a podcast episode as part of my university course, and then it ended up winning an award called the Janno Media Award. And now I've turned it into a whole, basically, like series podcast. And the first episode just came out. Second episode is coming out in a few days, depending on when this comes out. It might already be out. But yeah, it's basically just me having conversations with people from loads of different backgrounds, talking about loads of different things. Like my first episode was me speaking to a reformed prisoner about how he's turned his life around since coming out of prison. He set up his own business. And yeah, the second episode is with an actor and a poet. So that should be interesting. And yeah, so tune in, guys. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, all of that.
And it's 2, the number 2,
N and then the word TWO2.
Right. With a capital T.
Capital T, don't forget.
Excellent. So a very worthy winner this year of the Janno Media Award, which is a bursary, a fund that Janno Media give to Nottingham Trent University to a promising podcaster, which is what you are. Well, you're now just a full-blown podcaster.
Yeah, I guess. Oh, pressure's on now.
Thank you very much, Ange, for your time today. Thank you very much. Those are some good, solid recommendations. Pleasure, absolute pleasure. And if you would like to be a guest editor on ContentED for Janno Media, the weekly roundup of soulful, engaging, inspiring, educational, informative content, then please get in touch with us. And if you want to do one of these video editions, maybe we could do that too. So don't hold back, get in touch, and tune in next time for another edition of ContentED.